India's 2024 election just ended, and the Bharatiya Janata Party once again secured the most seats. In last place, once again, the Fragrance Party by Febreze. That's the best one. Did you?
Yeah.
That's the best one.
Shout out to
because-
Frederick. Frederick wrote that.
So you're not a drug guy. What's the closest thing you think you've done to heroin?
Closest thing I've done, I mean, it's got to be cocaine.
No, I'm not talking. Well, okay, that would be the easy answer. I'm saying like something non-drug related that feels amazing to you.
Closest thing I've done to heroin has got to be trying stand-up comedy.
Yes.
Just going out there and putting out my heart, just making sure everybody knows
Nick.
that I'm an interesting person.
I'm such a. Do you know that when people ask me, they're like, "So what is it like?" I say to people, I'm like, "It's the closest thing you can feel to coke without doing."
Dude, the cringe that comes off it. Well, we're now recording. This is the third episode of Painfully Mediocre. I'm here today with Joseph.
I recently had it changed to Hussein.
Hussein.
Yes.
Okay, so that's Hussein. What's
Bull.
the last name? Hussein Bull. Okay.
Sort of a mix of different talents there. I just thought that one would describe fast, explosive.
Who's the Bull?
Well, that'd be Usain Bolt. So I just
Bolt.
Yeah, it's sort of like a play on words.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm just too retarded for that stuff.
Well, you don't seem retarded. This is a beautiful place you have here. If I understand correctly, Andrew Tate also owns a property on this.
Well, Andrew Tate owns a lot of real estate on my body right now.
Right.
Yes.
You've got
Free
tattoos.
advertisement.
Digital anthrax is Facebook. I mean, have you ever actually scrolled through? Because I know you have one because you have to when you're a comedian. Right. Have you ever scrolled through and looked at your friends' parents' posts?
Yeah, cesspools of just boring, mediocre shit, and it's like you can tell they're about to get divorced or they hate their lives.
It's unbelievable. It's like you're watching a person have a mental break. Like some guy that used to drive you to lacrosse practice, and he was a little bit drunk. He was a cool guy, and now he's yelling about Biden on the timeline.
Yeah, he's got like a few hairs left, and you see one of them fall off in a still photo. That's what's crazy about it. He's actually going through schizophrenia.
So what's happening right now, and I won't say his name. I don't think anybody listening to this would know who the guy is, but he's I met him in 5th grade. He's one of my best friends. Very normal, chill dude, and he went through a very traumatic last 2 years. Where just fucked up shit constantly happening. And he believes that he's a victim of gang stalking. Are you familiar with that phenomenon?
No, what is gang stalking?
So it's like completely regular people. They just go through enough stress where they start believing that this, a specific group of somebody who they may have had a problem with in the past.
The Teletubbies are stalking me.
It could, literally, I mean, it could be anybody. There's a Vice documentary people should look up.
That's beautiful.
And it's so sad, but it's insane. They think people go into their houses and move shit, poison their stuff. It's really fucked up.
So is it just a blanket group, or does he have a group that's following him?
So he believes let's just say he had a problem with a group, like an organized group. I won't go into I can't really go into the details. I just wouldn't feel right about it. But
the NRA, I understand.
It's the NRA, and he's Kyle Rittenhouse. This is this is the 4th movie where they turn on him like Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. That's. Kyle Rittenhouse as a Jedi. How about that?
Kyle Rittenhouse as a Jedi would be great.
Yeah, on Kenosha, it already sounds like a Star Wars planet.
But would he be a Jedi? I mean, he's all about guns. He'd be a stormtrooper.
He's a hero to me.
Yeah, he's a hero. Yeah. Well, I mean, I always thought the stormtroopers were heroes from the beginning. He's
out there doing his job as an American citizen.
Yeah, he's got all this bureaucracy that they're putting aside,
Who is the dark side? Who's the Empire in real life right now? Who would you say that is?
The Empire right now?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's probably Putin, if we're being honest.
Well, okay, so the thing I always found ironic about Star Wars is, you could, almost everything the bad guys are doing, you could relate to, the start of America. We just go in and take everything, destroy it if we don't like what they're doing.
Or World War II,
World War II.
Most things in the 70s and 80s were just basically World War II-esque. Harry Potter, Star Wars. I guess that's not the 70s, but yeah.
Harry Potter's gay.
Indiana Jones.
Very cool. Yeah. Very American.
But yeah, I wanted to get back to this. He's got a group of people that are following him around, or that's what he thinks anyways. What did they do? They just move stuff and that bothers him?
No, so he believes, so I've known this guy. I talked to him nearly every day for sometimes hours at a time, and like he's my best friend. So for me to like say this stuff is not happening that'd be insane
Yeah.
if it was my best friend and I like actually thought there was a chance of it. It's not happening. Is my point.
Yeah.
Like this has happened like while family reunions are there and shit, and he believes
Oh.
they come in and like poison his stuff. He'll send me pictures of it. He wanted to send me a pack of Zins once that he believed had been fucked with.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really sad. It's fucked. You know.
That is really sad. And Zins, you know, the little white things, you know, it looks like a lot of different drugs.
Well, so I gave him a pack and I drew little faces on them, and I said, I don't see the faces.
Yeah, you gaslit him. That's the best friend right there. Is you're just literally telling him like, dude, you're moving his stuff around, and he's like, people are moving my fucking shit.
Dude, it's really I try and find a fun way to make about it, but it's. I'm sorry to I brought it to this level of it being serious and bummed out.
I only wanted to bring it back because I've always thought like I know a few people with schizophrenia, and I've always thought it's weird. Yeah, it'll happen. Don't worry
The
about
cat
it.
just I think physically moved the door.
Yeah, they do that. They're strong beings.
I was trying to take a piss, and your roommate. I thought this was a little strange. He hid the door to his room open, so both of his cats could touch me while I was urinating.
Yeah.
That was tough.
That's sort of how this place works. It's the bathroom door is the divider between my room, which is the living room, and his room, which is just a cesspool of debauchery and sin.
What goes on in there?
Can't talk about it.
I'm just,
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what goes on in there. I don't live in there. But he's a disgusting creature that should be shot in Iraq.
well, I haven't seen his room. I imagine that when Anna Mesa was on this show, it was at least slightly more organized.
It was.
It was.
Yeah,
Was
I
that
cleaned up more.
Okay.
Yeah, because when.
Well, it's more important.
Yeah,
It's for the clip.
yeah, it's for the clip. But yeah, with the schizophrenia thing, I've always thought it's weird that all the voices are bad. I've always thought it's weird that nobody. You know what I mean? Nobody's getting a good voice in there.
Like it's some guy. It's some guy at a drive-through that you keep seeing. He's not the one that gives you the food, but he's always got a nice message and makes your day better. It doesn't
Right.
exist.
It's like, man, that guy fucking loves me.
You know that kind of reminds me of something I constantly think about is like shit like that. Like there's so much bad in the reality we live in. Like imagine if that's what schizophrenia was. Imagine if snow was warm or if like cigarettes made you strong and shit like that.
Yeah.
I think it is so unfair that the human condition is wanting everything that we can't have. Nobody actually wants to work out. Nobody actually wants to have a healthy relationship with their spouse. Nothing like that.
Yeah. So you think if you gave like the happiest person in the world, you just put 50 cc's of schizophrenia in him, like that, you think he gets mad, or you think he just starts to hear good voices all the time? You think it's a human condition, or do you think it's just schizophrenia on its own only brings out bad voices?
Well, happy schizophrenic people are just referred to as religious in my
Oh,
opinion.
yeah, the Mormons.
All of them. Dude.
Yeah,
I grew up
yeah.
Catholic. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
really.
that is unbelievable.
Are you a religious guy? I feel like I should have asked before I just said that.
Well, no, I am religious, but at the same time, like a lot of religious people don't like me because I've always thought the Bible's inspired by God, but at the end of the day, it's written by humans. And so both sides, the Catholics and the Protestants, kind of bicker with me because I don't follow everything.
Right, like don't rape is a suggestion. It's not in the 10 Commandments. If it was that important, it'd be in there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Don't rape.
Yeah, I saw this meme the other day. It's you've seen American Psycho, Christian Bale.
Yeah.
He's really freaking out in that scene, and he's sitting in his office like this in front of the window, and he's like thinking about that detective getting him. And somebody took a screenshot of that and made the caption, "Maybe I'm the reason I don't get booked."
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was too bad. Rape is getting more mainstream.
I don't think rape's that bad either.
All right, we're cutting everything.
All right.
Just kidding. But yeah, religion's weird like that, Man, we touched on like 5 different topics in the last 10 minutes, dude. That was wild.
I
think we speed ran it.
It's a mental illness I have.
Yeah.
I believe.
Edahid.
I feel like we haven't talked about you at all. What's going on for Nick Hartley?
I'm not interesting in the slightest. I work at Stand Up Live. I serve. I come back. I try to write shitty jokes, and that's it.
Oh, dude, I had a moment I'd like to talk about at Stand Up Live.
Talk about it. Tell it.
Stand Up Live, for anybody who's not from Arizona listening to this, it's so dope. And a lot of famous people perform there. I'm jealous that you even work there, right? You get some stage time for doing that. Also, you're a great comedian, but that helps, right? Working there.
Every once in a while. Yeah.
Right. So the other day, my girlfriend got us tickets to go see William Montgomery,
Yep.
and I don't know if you experience this at all. It's one of my least favorite things about myself. I hate watching other comedians, especially if it's a show that I'm not on, and it's strictly because of jealousy.
Right.
I didn't realize that 9 o'clock was when when the show started. And William Montgomery is gonna be up at midnight.
Yeah.
So like I'm sitting in there and I'm already like, fuck, dude, this is the most people I've ever seen from a crowd. So jealous I can't even sit still.
Yeah.
Who gets up on stage?
I know who.
The beautiful, the hilarious, the talented Michael Densmore.
Yes.
And so this is a guy that I like started at the same time. We started going to open mics together. And it felt like, I imagined that is what it's like to watch a black guy fuck your girlfriend. Like
That's a very good comparison.
I kept rubbing my hands like this. It was insane. I
was working that day. And I had a shit ton of tables and stuff like that. And I was literally like drowning. And then I was just walking out there and I saw Mike was on stage and I was like, what the fuck? We're giving out guest spots today? And I instantly like put my stuff down. I ran over to Brandon, who's our manager. I was like, Brandon, is there any more guest spots? Like, could I get a guest spot? I was like, my tables are fine right now. Like, I'm good. I'm really not doing anything. And he goes, nah, it's awful. I was like, oh, it's cool. It's whatever. But like, I get the jealousy because I love Densmore. Densmore's one of my favorite people around the scene. And he was on stage and I was like, God, I hope he kills, but damn it, do I want to be up there? And then Saab got on after. I don't know what day you went.
I don't remember seeing him. I did have to go out and smoke a joint right afterwards.
So. Yeah, you had to fucking.
I had to get up and wait. You know, the $45 worth of 4 drinks that my girlfriend paid for had not gotten to the table yet. So.
Yeah, and that was my fault because I was too busy being like, damn it. But that's just that's the way it goes. And like, I was happy for Densmore because Densmore killed.
Yeah,
Densmore murdered. I don't remember who all was on that lineup, but he probably did the best of anyone in that night. And I think Lewis, he's a big guy. Yeah. Lewis, whatever his name was, did really well too. Whenever he wasn't there for the first show because he was late. That's why Michael Densmore was going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he was hanging out with a fucking what was the headliner again?
William
Montgomery. I knew him. I just forgot. William Montgomery and like fucking Sean Strickland or something like that. What? Sean O'Malley. Just at night drinking. I was like, dude, I would probably miss a show for that too.
I'd quit my job. I'd probably like punch a family member.
But afterwards, he was so pissed off that he missed that, and he was going up to Sav because Sav went up the first show. It was Sav and Mike, and so he's like, Sav, if you ever take my spot again, I'll like fucking kill you. He was obviously joking.
Oh, that God.
But I looked at him and I was like, well, it sounds like he took your own spot, bud. You know, it didn't show. And I just kind of like was nagging him, and he didn't think it was funny at all. And I think he hates me now. That's all right.
That's fine. I mean, it's for me. It's just like if somebody's gonna be a douchebag to me, I'm not even gonna call this. I don't know the guy at all.
No, he was just dicking around with Sav. He wasn't being a dick.
Oh, but you were trying to get in.
I was just joking around. You know, I thought, oh, we're 2 comedians, we can fuck around.
I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. I don't think people in general like me.
Dude, I have that same feeling. Yeah. I think everybody hates me all the time.
I don't think so. I mean, you and I are on an acquaintance level, and I don't know you well enough to know that. I would say that, I've sort of started considering myself like the Slim Shady of
the best there ever was, but not appreciated.
Exactly, very controversial,
right?
Cut, but also like talented.
Very white,
hard to get. But black.
Yeah.
Am I ruining this podcast?
No, I think it's good.
Okay, all right.
It's good.
Oh, Anthony Ron, you had him on your show recently.
Dude, I was about to call out Anthony.
This fucking guy, man. I love Anthony. He's never met my girlfriend before. We're doing my podcast at her apartment the other day. Never met her. She's not a comedian. Yeah. First thing he says when he walks in the door, not even drunk, he just goes, "Oh my God, that dog's eyes are fucked up. What does she not bathe it?" I was like, "Are you out of your goddamn Christ mind?
Are you trying to get me in trouble?
Are you trying to be like... Do you have an open spot tonight?" Jesus Christ.
No, Anthony's great. He's one of my good friends.
Very nice guy.
But
very funny.
He hates me sometimes because whenever I'm at an open mic and things aren't going well, I instantly just be like, "How's Anthony doing?" everybody give it up for Anthony right now. And then he's just in the back like, whoa, whatever. And then sometimes I'll shit on him. Sometimes I'll be like, he's kind of the best person in the scene right now. Like, I'll give him way too much praise that he doesn't deserve, and he hates that more. And he doesn't, he really, really does not respond to that well, which is why it's fun for me.
Well, he lives with his hot girlfriend, so if there's any consequences from this, I think he'll be fine. But Anthony and I were doing Blow the other day, and he spent an hour telling me about how America was stolen from the Mexicans who originally had civilizations here, that we burnt it to the whole ground. Do you have thoughts on that?
I feel like if America was stolen from the Mexicans, the Native Americans stole it from the Mexicans, and then we came in and stole it from them, because I'm pretty sure there wasn't that many Mexicans here.
It's almost like we're never actually the ones stealing stuff.
It's almost like you can't blame the whites for anything.
Well, we came in, hey, you got to crack a couple eggs.
You got to crack a couple eggs.
Set up, buildings.
Yeah.
You like buildings, folks? And they all just burst. It's the funniest shit. Just being stupid is funny.
Yeah, and I need more silliness. I realize that. I need more silliness in my act,
Well, maybe you should stop trafficking cocaine in people. I mean, this is such a nice place, but don't you think you could do like a studio?
Well, it's fucking $1,600 rent. What do you want me to do?
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
This is $1,600.
$1,600. Is that high or low?
That's insanely low.
Oh,
for
really?
How nice this area is.
Really?
Are you out of your god? There's a gate.
I mean, I would only pay $500 for this piece.
Dude, I was paying $13 after all. That was after like all expenses and everything per month for the shittiest apartment in Pheonix. It was a studio.
Yeah.
Like I would abort someone else's baby to live in this place for $1,600. Does that mean you pay $800 a month for rent for this place?
I don't even pay that, to be honest.
Oh my Christ, dude. Oh my God, I'm gonna wear your face. This is awesome. This is you living life, man.
I like that idea of you just have my face on you and you're just, hey Kyle, what's up? And you're like, oh, you look different, Nick. And you're like, what do we talk about normally? Because let's talk about what we normally talk about. We're pretty good fellas.
I don't know. I mean,
you told me you see my peen all the time.
Could you get away with like wearing somebody's face? Like, how would you actually do that?
Hey, if you could get away with wearing someone's face, I think you'd have to wear a scarf.
Yeah.
Like a scarf would be important, and you'd have to have a little bit of neck. Because if it was like, hey, your chin looks weird. Granted, he's a guy, so he probably wouldn't be able to be like, that chin looks different. But when his new girlfriend comes around, she'd be like, that's not his chin. I think that's a different person. And then you'd be like, it'd be like Scooby-Doo. They'd be like, oh, you got me. And then the closet door would open and my body would fall out. You'd be like, oh, if it wasn't for you and your fucking female friend, that'd be fun.
I like that.
It's a good one. Clip it.
Who would be like a modern day Scooby-Doo?
Who would be a modern day Scooby-Doo?
Like the villain they pull off. It's like, for example, it's like they're looking for like the Hamas hoodlum, and they finally get him, and they're like, let's see who this really is, and they pull it off. It's Netanyahu.
Yeah, I feel like that's just Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama would be a great one.
It's Mike Obama. That's what they would say.
That's it's complicated stuff.
Yes, it's really high level comedy if you're thinking about it.
Do you do drugs? It's tough. I mean, I don't want to believe in the white privilege thing. I don't want to believe in it because like there are a lot of times where I've got fucked over by cops. But there's also times where I think back like, dude, when I first moved here before I started doing comedy, I was a mess.
Yeah. Like
I was really, really not doing well as far as like drinking. It was at least two giant, the huge Mike's Harders. They're 8%. I get 2 of those every day and I did solar. Mm-hmm. And one day it was Halloween, so we tried to get more people to keep the door open by dressing up. Mm-hmm. I'm in Joker face paint. My buddy in his beat ass hold up truck. He's wearing the pink Easter bunny suit from A Christmas Story, and we got pulled over. Somehow we didn't see the cops' lights or anything like that.
Oh shit!
Open container by my feet, a gun in the glove compartment. And I was like, dude, I'm drunk as shit. I'm wearing Joker face paint. I better not tell this guy I have this here.
He's like, I found the only 2 albino black guys around. That's crazy.
Joey and Chris. All right, Tyrone and Jerome, step out. Ain't no way you didn't hear me.
Ain't no way you're gonna tell me you ain't a black man.
I mean, dude, I lied about having a gun, and the guy let us go. When I was in high school, the star football player on our team, this black guy named Jacob, they put him on the front of his car for listening to his music too loud while driving around.
Donald Trump going to prison. What do you think?
He's not going to prison.
No, of course not. He's got too much money.
It's the exact same thing. It's a storyline, you know. They just try to put it out there because half of the country will click the storyline and believe it. It's so obvious the things that are happening. It feels hack at this point to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, the Joe Biden thing is unbelievable. I'm not a Trump guy, but it's hard to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally, you've got like a guy who has dementia, which, I mean, hey, like we've had a black president now. We don't have a woman president yet, but the first dementia patient. I mean, that's good for the nation. I'm just saying. Like, he might even come out as gay next year. We don't know.
That would be okay. What happens to comedy if one of those guys, like, it would never happen, even if they were caught sucking dick.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sakes, one of them got caught fucking kids. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
I think it would throw such a wrench into comedy. Everybody's always talking about it, and I haven't been there for it yet. But comics who have been doing it since the elections, like the first time they ran against each other, have always said it changes. Like, people get very pissed off about stuff. Just imagine if one of them got caught sucking a dick.
You know what it is? Every 4 years, America gets on its period. Yeah. Well, that's exactly what happens. People just are doing unnecessary things, and they're being unnecessarily offended about stuff. About, you know, just because they're like, that's my guy, he has to win. And then once their guy wins or loses, they go, and then they go back to being like, yeah, fuck the whole system. That's what it is.
Well, as a masked femme, I would say that's a bit of an overization.
I don't know what masked femme is, but it sounds pretty gay.
It's masculine feminine.
Oh, okay.
So like I'm a masculine feminist.
Like
so
you're a D&D character, you're chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
I'm masculine feminist.
I'm playing both sides.
Jesus.
I'm here mainly to appoint third term abortions as a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
that's just RFK.
That's the one issue, the abortion one, that fucking I try on all the issues. I try not to be like, whoa, whatever. Like, who cares about immigration? Who cares about that? Abortion gets me, man. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you just don't like killing babies.
I've never cared about a group of people in my life. I've never been like, go whites. Never been like, go blacks or anything like that. But for some reason, I'm go baby. I don't know.
Go baby, huh?
I
think they're awful.
You think their babies are awful?
You know, you got to remember, like, how many times are you behind some guy in a gas station and he's got 97 scratchers?
Yeah.
I mean, there's an app.
He's got far too many.
And he's handing it to the person to scan. And the person has to do it.
Right.
That person was at one point a baby that deserved to be kicked in the chest. It's not, that person was going to be that person no matter what. Yeah. And so for me, it's like they are just little people that we allow to get away with, I would call it, terroristic acts.
That's true. Over time, it builds. It's like a cancer that grows, and you go, it's just not that big of a deal. And eventually, they're buying scratchers at a gas station, and they're neglecting their family while living in a van.
And that's the goal.
That is the goal.
That's the goal. But you know, I'm not gonna have other people listen to my baby on the plane.
Right.
You know,
I'm the one person where babies crying, I could fall asleep to that shit.
Really?
I love it.
But you don't like abortion?
Well, no. That's the way I like. I like the sound of babies.
Well, babies, they usually cry when they're upset.
Yeah, no, that never registers in my brain. I just go, that's
relaxed.
A baby.
Okay.
And that's what it is. I go, that's a baby, and look at that thing. Isn't it adorable? And I go, these things exist, you know? And then I go to sleep. And you know what I think is the worst Marvel movie?
What?
I think it's No Way Home. You ever seen that Spider-Man movie?
Well, we're
We're
going to have to cut this part out, too.
Why?
Because it's a black guy. That's why you didn't like it?
No Way Home. There's not a black guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there a black guy?
That was No Way into the Apartment.
Oh, No Way into affordable housing. Yeah. But no, the reason why No Way Home is the worst is because in the first 30 minutes of the movie could have been over. He presses the button, all those bad people die, and then he goes home. But instead, he puts everybody in the world at risk, including his friends and family, the people that he cares about, and goes, you know what? I'm going to be a good person here, and I'm going to save these people who don't deserve to be saved. And doing that, he almost kills everybody. So it's like, hey, don't be a pussy next time and just press the goddamn button.
No, I haven't seen the movie because I have sex, but
Well, you want to read jokes?
let's do it, dude. I was most excited for this part.
Yeah, this is the part that's going to be fun. Okay, so basically, I have to say this every time. I got this idea from the Norm Macdonald show. Now, you could call it stealing, you could call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I loved it. It was my favorite part of his show, and I really want to do it because I don't see a lot of other people doing it. And I also want to get better at writing these kinds of jokes, which these are things I would never say on stage, but I find are just jokey jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. So I don't know if you want to go first.
You go. You started out.
I'll go first then. All righty. Oh, what's a good one to start off with? To all the people I have made yo mama jokes to, your mothers are nice ladies, but your fathers, filthy, filthy sluts. Always start with the worst one.
Okay, and that was because they're gay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I see what we're doing.
Filthy, filthy sluts. You have to read one now.
Oh, okay, now I read one. A new study shows that spray tans work better when listening to rap music.
You gotta say it again.
A new study shows that spray tans work better when listening to rap music. A riffraff.
Riffraff.
You know, you could tell that guy's got a spray tan.
Who's a riffraff?
You don't know riffraff?
No, I just blindly agreed.
He's he's a white rapper. He's sort of like he made his money and he retired a little bit, which I think is the way to go.
Yeah.
You're famous. He signed a $4 million deal in I want to say 2016, made a couple more albums and retired with it. And he's a white dude from Florida with pink braids and he's got grills that are the shape of monster teeth.
Yeah, little gator boy.
Never believe he's white from the description. Is spray tan.
Nice. That's pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
Jessica I'll say it again. Jessica Vestal from the hit show Love is Blind has decided to get a breast reduction, or as her agent calls it, retiring.
Okay. That, you know what that makes me think of is it's tough that women go to shit immediately after 40, right? Yeah. That's tough. Like a guy like me, I get a lot of shit for how much of a baby I look like.
Uh-huh.
When I get to 40, I'm going to be a hot guy.
Right, but you just got to get there.
I mean, my sister's probably going to be fat. You know.
She's not fat now?
No, she's hot right now. And I think eventually, it's just, it's the genetics of Italians, really.
You're Italian?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Sicilian.
Capuana.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the worst kind of European.
Well.
I think my grandpa killed a guy.
Probably. Yeah. Probably killed 4 in a trash compactor.
We don't have to ask if they had spray tans.
Yeah. God tanned them originally.
Clip it.
Yeah. But anyways,
I go now.
Or they're from
now it's
yeah.
my turn? Okay.
Also, I was enjoying the baseball commentary in between every bit. It's oh yeah, he's running down the bend there. Oh, it's a big home run. My dad's Italian. Whoa. I was loving
George
it.
Floyd joke, gonna make it. No, white audience.
Or the fucking other one I did.
The U.S. Surgeon General declared gun violence a public emergency. In other news, knife fights are completely healthy.
Yeah, I like it.
This was written by a British guy.
Yes.
Do you carry a knife?
I don't anymore.
Do you carry a gun?
I don't carry a gun anymore.
I feel like, okay, so I can't say who it is, but I've had this conversation with open mic comedians. There are 3 air marshals.
Where?
Just at any given open mic. Open micers that bring guns to shows. And I can't even tell you how much more comfortable that has made me.
That makes me less comfortable.
Are you kidding me? Dude, there are some people that I've been threatened, my life has been threatened 3 times on stage. It's insane. It was over the dumbest joke, too.
All of them were at Devils, for sure.
Yeah.
Devils is a cesspool where dreams go to die and people just get agitated and want to fight.
I'm surprised you don't come to bullshooters more. I mean, there's a lot of those people. It might remind you of your childhood.
Yeah, I don't like to go to bullshooters. I mean, I don't ever have time, but yeah.
Apparently, there's a new Instagram dance. If you haven't seen it, just imagine someone creatively shaking their ass. This is something me and my girlfriend argue about all the time. My girlfriend is very pro-feminism. Did I miss something on
No,
that?
I wrote that one. I just wanted to say
I liked that one.
Yeah.
I liked that one. What do you think about that? Because it's like, you and I both know that we would do it, right? Like, I fantasize about this world where it's not all men doing open mic comedy, it's women, and they want to see us instead.
Yes. I actually I take that a step further, and I fantasize about a world where it's all transgender people, and then I come in and I'm the oddity. It's like, oh, we need a white male for the show. We don't have any. And I go, do I have to be funny? They go, no, we just need to fill our quota. And I go, oh, okay, well, I'm here. I haven't done stand-up in 5 years, but if you need me to get the white male base, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Apparently, dolphins get deliberately high off pufferfish. That explains the noise they make. Sober dolphins must sound like Seth Rogen's laugh. I guess. I don't know.
I something about it being Seth Rogen and people not doing, like, Seth Rogen is becoming an NPC.
Well, because I feel like his laugh has the same consistency as like a dolphin's. You know, like the whole high pitch, the way it goes in. His hit the same tones and the same beat.
So you're not a drug guy. What's the closest thing you think you've done to heroin?
Closest thing I've done, I mean, it's got to be cocaine.
No, I'm not talking. Well, okay, that would be the easy answer. I'm saying like something non-drug related that feels amazing to you.
Closest thing I've done to heroin has got to be trying stand-up comedy.
Yes.
Trying just going out there and putting out my heart, just making sure everybody knows
Nick,
that I'm an interesting person.
I'm such a. Do you know that when people ask me, they're like, "So what is it like?" I say to people, I'm like, it's the closest thing you can feel to coke without doing. Dude,
the cringe that comes off it.
God,
it's the closest thing.
I'd rather walk in on my mother getting fucked for heroin. Don't take that part out.
I was getting ready to spit.
Keep it. It did a spit take. That's only happened to me twice. Second time.
I don't know why, but you for some reason are very funny right now.
Thank you.
That was meant to be condescending for fun.
People used to find love in newspaper ads. Probably because they couldn't tell the difference between a red and green flag. Now that's...
They're not all winners.
One time I...
Look at you trying to figure out something funny in that dog shit joke. Oh.
One time, well, I was a retarded child. That's why I don't have a home now. But I was a dumb kid, and I remember the first time my parents explained, like, when TV went to color, I was like 6. I legitimately asked them, was real life black and white back then too?
Really?
Yeah, and they were very nice parents. They just said, no, Joey, that's silly. It'd been funnier and more truthful for them to go, yes, kind of it was.
Oh, yeah.
Until George Floyd.
It sort of was black and white. I see the point you're making. Yeah, because it was like the black people and the white people. Yeah, it's a good solid take on the world. You know, you should really try to get hired with CNN.
Get hired with CNN?
Yeah, I mean, that was a very tolerant thought.
Well,
that was the first one I've seen from you today, but still.
Don Lemon did fuck me in my ass when I wasn't looking, so I should talk to them.
And be like, hey, man, you kind of owe me for that.
Chris Cuomo raped my sister.
You think I did that you think I let you do that for free, Chris? Now, have you seen him out here right now? He's trying to, make up for all the things he said about Joe Rogan.
So what did he say?
About the ivermectin. He's going on podcasts and I didn't say it was horse dewormer, and they're like, here's a clip of you saying it was horse dewormer. He's like, that was taken out of context, and it's like, no,
it's a 1 and 30-second clip, dude.
What do you mean?
We got back from commercial break, and it's still the end of the topic.
Before and after it. Are you fucking high?
See, a guy like that. Here's the thing about politicians or a guy in that situation. If that guy were to come out and go, look, dude, I worked for fucking CNN. There's an angle.
That's all
I immediately am on that guy's side.
Exactly. That's all he's got to do is look, I know what I was doing was wrong. I just did it because I was making good hard cash. He's making $200,000 a year easy from that shit. Probably more.
You can't get pissed at Cuomo for that. You can only get pissed at American culture because there's a reason that they do it.
Exactly.
It pisses me off so fucking bad.
I would, if an ISIS beheading person came out and was like, I was only doing it because they offered me $500,000, I would be like, I get it. He's like, I didn't want to do it. I would get it. I'd be like, you got the money for it. But if he was like, no, I believed in everything I was doing, the heads didn't really come off, that was AI, I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, now I can't fuck with you, you know?
Hamas does dog videos sometimes. I don't watch the hostage
No.
ones. You know what I mean? I don't. It's Javier and he's playing with his dog. It's a nice thing.
It's a nice thing. And you know what? We need to humanize some of these people.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's always the marginalized people, like the ones killing people and causing atrocities, that don't get enough representation.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Can I read you one that I actually had?
You wrote this?
Well, it's one that I remembered that I had I'm just going to do it and say that I wrote it.
Do it.
So I wrote this one. Apparently, there's a lot of controversy going on between Israel and Gaza at this time. They got some dude running the country. Apparently, his name is Benjamin Netanyahu, and that guy's a real Yahoo.
I like that.
That's what people are saying.
I like that.
That's nice.
In the future, if you want, I'm looking for people to joke right for me.
Oh, dude, I would love to do that.
I think if you want to do that, you can absolutely do that.
How many of these do you do per week?
I try to do 10.
Would you give me $10 a week to do 10 of them?
I would give you $10 a
I'll
week.
do fucking 20, dude.
Dude, I would appreciate that so much. Like I said, I don't ever want to give somebody no money for helping out with something that I'm trying to do. You know, I'll throw you $10 right now. I was about to throw you 20 for gas.
Well, I want that part where I complained about like getting over it. I want that taken out, and then I want this.
Okay, yeah.
Because I have a lot of money.
He has a lot of money and
A
a hot
lot of
girlfriend.
money.
He actually does have a hot girlfriend, and honestly, the whole comedy scene doesn't understand.
Dude, it is the best. She's very hot, and she has money. So
Yeah.
it's
And you're
the
like,
best.
how did this fucking happen? What more do I have to do to run women away from me?
And you'd think she'd be awful based on society, but she's great.
Wow. And you're trying to fuck it up every day.
Really, really.
Wow. A true comic. Joey Capuana. You are going to read that one.
I was
right?
going to... The one that wasn't actually... I came on the spot. India's 2024 election just ended, and the Bharatiya Janata Party once again secured the most seats. In last place, once again, the Fragrance Party by Febreze. That's the best one.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
Shout out to Fred Rigg. Fred Rigg wrote that.
Fred Rigg wrote that one, huh?
Yes, sir.
I'm starting to... There are racial elements to it.
Yes,
you know?
but that is funny because they apparently, I didn't know they stink. That's why when I was writing that, I was right by Fred. I was like, there's something funny here and I can't figure it out. He goes, oh, well, they stink. And I was like, bing, we got it.
See, the thing about India is, do you ever complain about your job?
Yes.
They live in boxes. Half of them live in boxes.
And they love their job. They love it.
Do they?
I think so. I've only met one Indian in his life, and he loves his job.
Legitimate question. Would you rather be a poor Indian person with a family or kill yourself right now? Because if the zombie apocalypse happens, if there's a nuclear war, right?
Yeah.
I'm going over to my family's house. I'm telling them we have a place to go. I'm saying this is an underground thing. I didn't want to tell you guys about it. You know, it's my rich comedy friend. Then I kill all of them. Yeah. Because I love them.
Because you love them. And that's what any well-rounded, God-fearing Catholic would do.
Yes.
And you know what? The fact of the matter is I would kill myself. That's how I just realized right now that I might have some racial biases because I was like, would I be Indian with a nice family or would I be my own miserable self right now, white male? Damn it, I choose me. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that's a racist thought, and I need to really check my biases.
He's not getting those 72 virgins. Different culture,
sir.
my bad.
Same brown. Oh, Jesus, I gotta cut that. A 71-year-old woman shot her husband for not cleaning the house. The man's last words, honey, I can't hear the goddamn TV. I don't know what you're yapping about. Oh, God, Cindy, you shot me. Oh, Lord, Cindy. Oh, and now our grandson, who we raised because his father died in the war, is going to grow up in a foster care system. How could you do this to me, Cindy? How could you? Oh, my God, these floors are dirty, aren't they?
I like that. That's very boomer. Very boomer. It gave me an insight there. That one was that was the most relatable one.
I wrote that one, and I thought, damn, that's fun. I want to do more bits like that.
That's the people that, at the end of the day, were jealous of that, you know?
But I always just thought of that idea of you're 71 years old, and you thought, you know what? I'm going to shoot this man because he didn't clean up the house. Why did it take 34 years of marriage? You know, I'm assuming she has been divorced before. but now she's got to go and clean her cell every damn day. You know, the irony in it is like maybe we shouldn't shoot people based on emotion, or is that the archetype of a woman president right there? All right, and now we're getting ready to move on to my favorite part of this podcast, which is a show I'm trying to run at a bar, but I'm testing it out here on the pod, which is called Fever Dream. It's basically an improv storytelling show where you take a fictional character and an ending. We usually try to make it a real ending, and you make up a story as you go on it. And so what we'll do first, and this is the new part of it, is we're going to draw out 3 of each. And you can choose which ones you want to mix and match. So you only get 1 character and 1 ending.
Okay.
But you can draw 3. And do you want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. That is usually what happens. J.K. Rowling caused the assassination of Franz Ferdinand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you guys know anything about Franz Ferdinand, it's that he's a loudmouth son of a bitch, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And J.K. Rowling at the time, she hadn't written any books yet. She was just a young, hoppity reporter. You know, she just...
Uppity, even.
I didn't say uppity.
Oh.
Hoppity. She was hip-hopping everywhere. That's how the English say uppity, you know. And she was basically just trying to get her name out there. And she saw this Franz Ferdinand riding around and being rich and stuff like that. And she said, there's got to be something evil about this man. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go and I'm going to try to find out what dirt I can get on him. You know, but the problem is she went and met him. They had dinner, coffee. And he was a nice man. She fell in love instantly. She said, this Franz Ferdinand, I had him all wrong. He's a true patriot of his nation. And while I'll agree that some of his ideas are outdated, he just has dreamy eyes and a good hard 6-pack abs. And then really, what else does a woman want? You know? She was willing to overlook all these other atrocities and things like that because of the fact that he was attractive. What, again? What
His name's Franz.
His name's Franz. He speaks a different language than she knows.
I'm wet.
Yeah, exactly. Who isn't wet right now? And that's exactly what happened.
Nick Hartley, because he's asexual.
That's right.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's me. But J.K. Rowling and this fella went out to dinner a few too many times, and she realized that one of 2 things has to happen. Either she needs to drop the story or she needs to marry this man. And basically what she didn't know is that Franz was a player. Man, he was slinging cock in every single nation there could be. And he went around and he said, J.K. Rowling, I think you and I would be a good couple. I think we should get married. She said, I would love that. And then he disappeared for 2 or 3 weeks. She said, I haven't heard from you. And she went crazy. She said,
do you think he used the invisibility cloak?
That is where she got the idea from, because she was like, oh, no, he's here. He's around. She went that insane. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? She was just like, he's around. He's just messing with me, you know? He's such a rich guy. He's got all this technology. But, and then one day he showed up, and she was like, oh, you finally took the cloak off, asshole. And he was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And basically she goes, you know, the reason why you haven't been answering any of my, they didn't have text back then, any of my voice stuff, you know, just saying, hey, Franz. And he goes, you're fucking insane. And so then he leaves her. And she comes around, she gets on, they didn't have message boards back then, but they had a newspaper where she could basically be like, hey, this guy's awful, don't date him or whatever. And another guy came by, it was a fella, came by and said, hey, I don't like this guy either. And she goes, what do you don't want to, are you gay? That's fine if you're gay, you know? And he goes, no, I just, I think we should pull a prank on him, you know? He's about to do this this drive-through or whatever. And I'm just going to, you know, take a little paintball gun, sit up on a building.
They had paintball guns, but not...
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
That's right. You didn't know, paint's been around. Guns have been around. Thought nobody, it was like musket fire paint, though.
Musket fire, you stuff it in there.
Yeah.
It's acrylic.
It's acrylic,
at the time.
And, of course, that's exactly what she thought was going to happen. But he said, hey, you know, I need you to tell Franz to be at this location at this time. And she basically says, okay, well, I'll do it just to get back at this guy who's being a horrible, awful person to me. And she says, Franz, I'm at this location and I'm naked, and Franz is a player.
Franz is hard.
He's like, get in that limo, we're going.
Yeah, he's bumping lines in the limo.
He's listening to like jazz music back then, which is...
Gonna get my cock sucked now.
And he's like, yeah. And he's got 3 other side bitches that are sending him telegrams on the line.
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, sorry, I can't deal with you right now. And the first shot misses, you know, because this guy has a pump and load and pump and load and pump and load and pump and load. And he misses.
Relatable.
Yeah. And he sees that paint come by. And he's like, man, that was weird. And so he goes, drive faster, you know, but he wants to get to that good sweet pone. And he gets around, and the next time the guy picks up this paintball gun. It's not a paintball gun. It's an airsoft gun.
Okay.
Yeah, that he loads a real bullet into because he's an idiot. And he's just like, he's so mad at himself for missing the first paintball shot. He just throws in a random bullet on accident. And then what happens next? He misses that shot as well because he's a noob.
Yeah, he's not.
And an airsoft
aim
gun,
assist.
Yeah. He goes also that he didn't think anything came out of it. He didn't even see the bullet. But what really happened is this lady, she was never actually at the location. But when she was just walking around the area Friends was in, he saw her on the street and he goes, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be at whatever. And J.K. Rowling says, I hate you. I hate you for the things you've done to me. And basically, a homeless man on the street says, do you hate this man? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, well, if you give me $20, I'll get back at you. I'll get back at him for you. She gives the man $20. And what is it? He pulls out a gun, shoots Franz right in the head. Then we have a world war. And that was a dog shit story of how J.K. Rowling caused the assassination of Franz Ferdinand.
I heard it was because his real name was Franz Ferdinanda, and then she cast a spell. She said, gross.
Yeah, and he goes, yuck.
She's transphobic. Did you
know? That's right. Yeah, Franz
Ferdinanda. Okay.
Got 3 names here.
We got Katniss Everdeen, and then I take this next one right now. This would go.
Sure.
Yeah. Made Epstein kill himself. I don't know if these were shuffled.
These weren't shuffled.
Shuffled. The Chernobyl disaster. Okay, and that's the ending, so we gotta do. Joanne Holloway. I'm not familiar with Joanne.
I don't think I know her either. Why did I write that down?
You wrote down a person you didn't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna replace Joanne Holloway with Oprah Winfrey. But that one slipped out of my hand and we got placed with Ellen DeGeneres. Okay. And what did Ellen DeGeneres do? She won D-Day. Now, obviously, I think we know which one of these is the true story here. Ellen DeGeneres. You know, when I say a name like Ellen DeGeneres, I think of guys like Tom Brady. I think of guys like Mace Windu. I think of people like Martin Luther King, like somebody who represents an entire section of people. And for lesbians, that's Ellen DeGeneres. Right. A lot of people don't know that the American Army was not actually the ones that stormed the beaches of Normandy. A lot of people think it was the Americans. It was actually lesbians. And so what had happened there was bullets are kind of like small clits, and they were just eating bullets.
Right.
You know, they couldn't be stopped because of their tenacity. You want to talk about Nazis being strict? A lesbian, Do Better Comedy is a good example. We have that out here. I would consider that to be a little bit of the modern day Nazis if we were thinking of that in the comedy scene. So Brandy Bigley, she was wearing the Captain America suit, but instead of a star on the shield, it was a roast beef pussy, like one that had never been fucked by a dick before, but is somehow blown out, which is the most lesbian thing you could do. And a lot of people think they used the U-boat to get onto that beach. It was just giant tampons.
Oh.
So when they arrived there, that's what Saving Private Ryan is about. Saving Private Ryan is another term for a vagina, specifically the uterine lining, which is, why Tom Cruise threw up in the beginning. Tom Hanks.
And it had nothing to do with seasickness at all.
Nope.
Wow.
He was just a lesbian and he was thinking about penis.
And so
male presidents.
When did he? Because he's a lesbian, but he's a man.
Tom Hanks depicted Ellen DeGeneres in Saving Private Ryan, and Ryan is a metaphor for a blown out roast beef pussy.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people aren't aware.
A lot of people aren't aware. So what's the story of?
Well, it was, D-Day. We all know D-Day. They actually, a lot of people think it's called D-Day. It was V-Day.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And that's when, instead of actually trying to stop the Nazis, Ellen DeGeneres and a team of well-armed lesbians, they stormed the beaches and they actually shot black people.
Oh.
Because black men are actually the opposite of lesbians.
Is that right?
Yes.
Don't worry about it. That cat's fine. You want another Zen?
Yeah.
All right. Let's redo all this. I don't know.
From the top.
I don't know what's going on with me today, but I can't. I swear that's the first time. Maybe having 3 come out is bad. I don't know. I'm gonna put this cat.
Sorry, my girlfriend's pissed at me because I didn't answer my phone for 2 hours, which she does constantly. No, I just don't have service, so anytime I forget to disconnect from Wi-Fi, it doesn't let the text that gets sent to me don't get delivered. It's so fucking
annoying. Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, the other ones were much easier to come by.
Maybe we just get a couple of rough ones. Let's try another one.
Let's try another one.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what that was. All right, I drew out 3 things here. Caused the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, saved Amelia Earhart, and caused the fall of Berlin. And then J.K. Rowling, Michelle Obama, and the Black Widow from the Marvel movies.
Dude, Black Widow and fucking... Talk about J.K. Rowling's fantasy. Is Michelle Obama being a Black Widow? I feel like she doesn't like black people. There's only like 2 in the whole book series.
I agree. Is it fucking raining out there? It's windy. Anyways, that doesn't matter for the pod. Caused the assassination. Well, I don't know which one to do, to be honest. Caused the fall of Berlin? I don't know.
How about I pick a few while you're trying to think of something, and then you can just edit that. But I'll try and grab something here. As someone who doesn't write jokes pretty much ever, just try the same shit over and over again until I want to kill myself. Mm-hmm. I often have to think of things on the spot. So we got Muhammad Ali. We got the Mount St. Helens eruption.
All right,
and did Pearl Harbor. Okay, so Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali. A lot of people think he was black. He was an Asian man.
Okay.
That's a lot of people think he changed his name. That was not the case. That was the media, CNN trying to do things at that time. Pearl Harbor happening at that moment, right? And what a lot of people don't know is that Muhammad Ali was the one that fought off the Japanese at the time.
Uh-huh.
He said, "I've had it rough." And so when they started shooting at him, he said, "I'm gonna dance like a butterfly, and I'm gonna float like a nuclear bomb over your family's home."
Yeah.
And he was actually the one that was inside of the Enola Gay.
Oh.
He dropped the bomb. A lot of people think it was the atom bomb. It was actually his giant black cock that just landed on the city and destroyed it.
And what really prompted him to do that?
See, a lot of people think it was that he was a conscientious objector, which means he didn't want to fight in Vietnam.
Right.
Black people they don't love doing stuff. Well, I mean, if it's not,
yeah, no,
you can't really
just people in general don't like doing stuff.
There's not really recording software out there. There's not.
Yeah.
There's not 7-Elevens. You can't really get drank out there. That's what they called it at the time. And Muhammad Ali, he was an Asian man, so none of that had to do with anything with Muhammad Ali. But at the time, in Vietnam, they also didn't have dumplings. They didn't have wontons, Toshiba. So he didn't want to go there either. This was why he was a conscientious objector. And he said, what if I stay in America and instead of going to Vietnam, I prevent Pearl Harbor? A lot of people think those were two different wars. They weren't.
Right.
So he was out there and he said the N-word.
Oh, but he's Asian. And they're okay with that.
A lot of people think that the Japanese at the time were Asian. What they have wrong is that they were actually black. Instead of flying planes into those warships that the Americans had in Pearl Harbor at the time, they were actually half-lit backwoods, and they would just... It would be the amount of oil, not the crash. Right. It was the fire, the oil. Cocoa butter does not mix with water. So then there goes all of the waters on fire.
Yeah.
And Muhammad Ali said, I've had it. I'm not going to take it. Well, he said, I'm not going to take these.
Right, because he's Asian.
And he started punching the bullets out of the air.
Awesome. And so then where did these bullets go? Did they deflect anybody?
They ended up going to Africa.
Really? They went that far?
Uh-huh. And a lot of people get it confused. They say that famine was killing people back then. You go to Africa, there's a McDonald's. I mean, you take a left, there's a fucking Sunoco.
$2 Big Mac.
These people are hey, inflation not happening for those guys.
No.
So what ended up happening was Muhammad Ali, who was Asian, punched the bullets, and they projectile based on how fast they were going. And Muhammad Ali is a great boxer. So they would hit him directly in the gloves. They'd bounce, land in Africa, and kill small black children.
And that's really his fault.
Yes.
So if you think about it, Muhammad Ali is kind of the reason for African genocide.
You kind of think you wonder about the wage gap.
Yeah, you really do. How does this apply to women is really what it is. Yeah. What else do you have on this story?
Hitler was black.
So what's that the story of? You got to tie it in.
That is the story of how the JFK assassination actually happened. Okay? One of those bullets, he hit it so hard, it goes straight up into space. It chills there for a few days. All right? It's like when a woman pushes a tampon too far up, thinks she took it out. It's still up there. It's still up there. It's going to come back down.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened was you see that bullet come through, and if people don't look at the Zapruder film close enough, you see on there, you see a pair of boxing gloves engraved in the side of the bullet. And you say, that was an Asian man.
Right. And so basically that bullet was in hibernation for a while.
The space term would be low frequency.
Low frequency?
Okay. Because it was not, gravity has a certain frequency that attracts things to it.
And these are all things you found in like the New York Times,
Yes.
You didn't come up with this scientific stuff on your own. No, this is well documented.
That would be gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't do science.
I don't blow guys.
Yeah. That's funny. Being gay is fun.
Jerking off a guy is technically science. You're going, hey, I know this theorem that other people have worked. Let me use my own experimentation.
Right. The angular momentum of homosexuality.
Would you ever have sex with a transgender woman?
No.
Even if she was, okay, who's the hottest girl that you know in existence? Margot Robbie?
Sure.
Okay. Margot Robbie's got a cock. What kind of cock do you like? Was it? Are we going uncut? When you go to say the butcher, like what do you ask for?
The butcher?
Yeah, like you go to your local butcher. What kind of meat you get?
I mean, if you're somebody who's gonna go get a new cock, you don't want a basic ass cock.
We're not talking. That's sci-fi.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when they play Play-Doh. It's like wet Play-Doh, and they pull it out of them. They make it looks like a dog's cock. Nobody actually does it. I'm talking about a man transitions into a woman and looks exactly like Margot Robbie.
I might have to say no, just because, like I've said, the sex is gross. I think I'm asexual.
Yeah, actually.
No. But
do your balls hurt when you don't come?
No.
Really?
No.
You're asexual. What did Robert F. Kennedy do to Martin Luther King?
I don't know. It was out. The story of Muhammad Ali caused JFK's assassination. Yeah. All right.
And a lot of people don't know that.
Well, I think we've done it. How do you feel?
I feel good. This is great, dude. I can't wait for the things that aren't going into it. Go listen to my podcast, Joey Hates Everything, if you want to hear everything we didn't say.
Yeah. It's all going to be sent over to Joe.
I don't care.
I know.
My life.
I don't know. I think things were good in this.
Does this mean I'm not going to meet Tim?
Who's Tim? Tim Dillon?
Nah.
Okay. I don't know who Tim is.
Nah, it's fine.
I don't know Tim either. Yeah. But yeah, this has been Painfully Mediocre. Thanks for watching.
Hey, if you like Painfully Mediocre, check me out. Bullshitters every Tuesday.
Bullshitters every Tuesday.
I'm going to kill myself and